To the Ministry of Earth Sciences for just inviting me to just take part in the session. Blue economy, which is the Prime Minister's office is also giving much importance to it, and it is one of the catchwords now. That is blue economy, and what is our trends, or maybe what is our support which we can do for the blue economy. So I am from a fisheries background, so I thought today I will talk about the sustainable use of fishery resources, wherein this is one way of just supporting the blue economy. So sustainable development is the development that meets with the needs of the present without compromising the ability to future generations to meet their own needs. So what we have now, maybe it is with the same account, or maybe more than that, we have to just leave it for the future generations. And talking about the biodiversity, because I will now talk about the biodiversity underwater. So India is the one of the richest biodiversity nation in the world. Already we have cultural biodiversity, culinary biodiversity, but again, when you talk about it, has got 4 biodiversity hotspots, and almost all types of landscapes are present in the globe is available in India. And coming to fishes, if it is among the 21,730 number of species in the world, we have got 2,546. That is almost 11%, which is a very important quantity which we have in India. And with a coastline of nearly 8,000 kilometers, more than 8,000 kilometers, it is very rich in marine biodiversity also. Equally is the terrestrial biodiversity, and the coastal ecosystems, which I told you, that we have got almost all the landscapes available in the globe is present in India. The Indian coastline includes estuaries, lagoons, mangroves, backwaters, salt marshes, rocky coasts, sandy stretches, and coral reefs. The marine habitats, which will play a very important and significant role in the ecological and economic stability in the country. And we have got about 451 species of sponges, more than 200 species of corals, 2,900 species of crustaceans, 3,370 species of mollusks, that is shelled animals, 200 species of bryozoans, 760 species of echinoderms, 47 species of tunicates, 1,300 species of marine fishes. When you talk about blue economy, the more contribution comes from the marine fishes, especially the crustaceans and the fin fishes. When you talk about the Indian fishery, it is about second world largest fish and aquaculture production is from India. That is just behind China. We are second in the world, and the seafood export has reached about 5.5 billion US dollars during 2014-15. That means that is again almost the largest foreign exchange earning economy. That is again, when you talk about blue economy, this is a very important. And about 14 million people are directly or indirectly engaged in fisheries, fish processing and allied sectors. 14 million people. So you can see how much economic importance the sector has got. You can just see the trend in marine catches. That is in 2005, the marine contribution was about 71% and inland contribution 29%. It has increased when 2015, the marine contribution has just gone to 34%, which is just half of it, and inland contribution has increased to 67%. That is the contribution from the aquaculture industry. So, which means that from the wild, the contribution is coming down, which means that there is overexploitation, and the species which is available in the wild is growing down rather than growing up. Then I should tell about from the wild, why there is a decline in the catches, or maybe why the species number is coming down. The one reason could be the destructive fishing practices. Even though maybe perhaps the Marine Fisheries Act is the oldest act which is ever available in the country, And there is a prohibition, ban in destructive fishing practices from there. This has come into force before independence. But even now, blast or dynamite fishing is in practice, bottom trawling in practice, and cyanide fishing is also in practice, which is actually, these destructive fishing practices are definitely deleterious to the fishing industry, and also destruction of the biodiversity underwater. And this is the biodiversity loss, which I thought that is either by blast fishing or by the dynamite fishing. So this is the biodiversity loss which we get. And you can see the endangered species or threatened species which is available. That also, maybe this is a press report which I showed, that 3 held in possession of banned marine species. Wanton destruction of these species are being taken place, either by way of just poaching or by just wild collection, because there is no restriction. Even though in policy there is restriction, but people do not follow it. And the fishing with bamboo cage, along with it, for ballasting, they use huge stones or iron particles, which is again destructive to the coral reefs, and iron cages, which is also is destructive to the coral reefs. And habitat destruction is taken place by just collection of for shells. That is one thing. And then in by way of just ecotourism also, people will go into the coral reefs and then just destroy the environment as well as the species which is available in the coral reefs. And the coral mining wantonly takes place. I have just shown 2 pictures. One is from the Gulf of Mannar, that is the abandoned church in Dhanushkodi, which is made of only coral stones. And then another house which is made in Lakshadweep. It is again made of the construction material is the corals. And then I just briefly would like to tell about the threats to fish biodiversity. The biodiversity loss is one of the most important global crises, and also it is a challenge how to mitigate it. The International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources in 2008, they have assessed about 16,000, more than 16,000, about 17,000 species are threatened globally, of which about 1,275 species are fishes. In Asia, 6,106 organisms are threatened, of which 688 are finfishes. In India, actually the number is less, but total it is about more than 1,000 species, 92 species of mammals, 84 species of birds, reptiles and amphibians, fishes, mollusks, and 128 invertebrates and 388 plants, in which eelgrass also is a very important ecosystem that also includes. And there is a loss of diversity by way of juvenile fishing. It is not purposely targeted fishing, but by way of trawling. It is a destruction which is caused unknowingly. It is just filtering the water, by which lot of juveniles are also being caught, and the estimated economic loss is about US $19,445 million per year from the mechanized and motorized sector globally. And you just see the pattern of the fish catching mechanism, that is the fishing boats by way of mechanized purseaners, ring seiners, mechanized bag netters, gill netters. In red, I have just shown the number. It is easy to understand. That is a number which is available as on now, and the blue is the optimum size of the numbers which should be available. So it is much higher. That means there is no restriction again. Then optimum fleet size recommended for the Indian fisheries, never it is adhered to. And the trawlers by way of just catching, that is the involuntary filtration which is happening underwater. A lot of juveniles, small fishes, unwanted fishes are being caught. Either it is economically it is of economically less valued fishes. Either it will go for the manure making, or by now aquaculture is picking up, so it goes to aqua feed preparation. Other than that, it has not got any economic value. And there are technological interventions. When you talk about blue economy, how you lessen the destruction which is taking place. So there are technological innovations which is happening in the sector, fishery sector. For example, one fish eye and radial escapement device, wherein it allows the young ones, juveniles, small fishes to escape from the trawl net and then grow further, so that it will be just growing to just contribute to the economic value of it. Then there are square mesh cordons, wherein the square meshes will have easy filtration of water rather than the diamond meshes. So that also will facilitate the escape. And I just pass through some of the interventions, that is bycatch reduction devices and juvenile fish excluder, a semi-pelagic trawl which will not scrape the bottom, and there is a bycatch reduction device which is designed for the hilsa species. Hilsa is a very important fish which is most liked by the West Bengal people, so that also is there. And turtle, endangered species, turtle excluder device, and circle hooks which will catch the fishes at the mouth rather than at the throat, wherein it can be released again live into the water. And efforts are some of the traps which will not which will catch all the fishes, but you can just the living condition, the young ones can be released back to the water. And coming to the aquaculture, when you talk about blue economy, a great deal of economical effort which is to be going into the aquaculture sector is going to help the sector. Open sea cages, we are just beginning to do it, but still that is an open area wherein we can increase the economy by way of culturing fishes in the coastal regions as well as in open sea waters. Then in open pen culture, I just would like to mention about the hatcheries which has to come, because the breeding technology, which is about very few species, has been standardized in India, wherein nearly 75 species is available in China. So that is why we are behind China. So the breeding technologies has to be developed, and also the local varieties has to be supported and encouraged for fishing. And domestication of many species is very much required to support the blue economy. Why? Because the fish seed is the availability of the fish seed again is to just boost the economy and the culture activities. Then prospects of the sector, that present supply is very little and the future demand is going to be very high. So the species diversification, as I told you earlier, that is very much necessary. And eco-friendly fishing practices, which I told, that is mostly necessary. And certification, that also will boost the economy, wherein we have got a certified fishery which will be accepted by the other countries also, and no WTO barriers will be there. And when you talk about sustainable fisheries, you should know about the byproducts which is coming from there. Then nothing has to be wasted. Everything has got a use and a value. So again, economical boost can be by way of just using the waste. So byproducts can be fish discards, is a potential source of essential nutrients. And now last slide is for the conserve the marine resources, the legal and non-legal instruments. There is a large number of instruments available, where the FAO code of conduct for responsible fishing, that we have to practice, and also we have to have instruments including the differential international plan of actions to follow them, so that the fishery or maybe the blue economy will be boosted. And marine protected areas, I don't go into that, because that also just is a basic requirement, wherein you have protected areas to supply to the wild. And the Environment and Forest Ministry included a lot of marine species under the Wildlife Protection Act also to protect them. And now coming to my 2 slides are there. This is the last slide. There is a sustainable development goals which we follow. They are bold universal agreement to end poverty, and its dimensions are equal and just and secure world for people, planet and prosperity. And sustainable SDG 14 is the life underwater. Again, the blue economy is underlined in this. There, conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas and marine resources for sustainable development. And the national biodiversity, again from the SDGs, we have got 12 national biodiversity targets. All these are just in, can be aligned with the SDGs, and also for the blue economy, for the support as well as research and the policy development. All these 12 instruments are in place. And now coming to the organizations to be involved in effective management and support of blue economy: Department of Animal Husbandry, Dairying and Fisheries; ICR NBFGR for new genetic resources; NFDB for support of the blue economy and supporting for the culture and all; and Marine Products Export Development Authority for boosting the exports, as well as having the marine certification and eco-labeling to that; and National Biodiversity Authority for the biodiversity conservation and sustainable use. Thank you. Thank you very much.